Good evening and welcome to the August 2025 AMA. It's exciting to be with our friends from Wallet V, and we've also joined by Karan from, or aka Crypto Floki, on Twitter, on X. Viola Hui is joining us from Wallet V. My name is Matt Hooper. I'm your host tonight, and we'll be talking through life with Hyperliquid and some of the other good things that you can do using the Wallet v Wallet. As mentioned, for those who are live on the call, and if you're able to scan the QR codes even when you're watching this video back, you can download the app. And if you use the code ATB when you're signing up, you'll actually get the potential for a little bit of bonus back if you trade 500, I think, USD in the first week. After today, you'll get $20 USDC back. So we'll jump through a few slides of mine. Firstly, I'm the chairperson of All Things Blockchain. And All Things Blockchain, we're a community-based organisation, grassroots organisation, based in Brisbane, Australia, and we run 12 in-person events per year, one every month. We meet in Fortitude Valley in Brisbane in person. We also stream those live to the world via Zoom. And just going through tonight's agenda, where I'm going to give a few announcements. We're then going to dive into what is Wallet V, some of the key capabilities of Wallet V, and what's going on with bringing Hyperliquid in, which is quite a significant development in the world of Wallet V. And then we're going to have a look with Viola and Karan at some of the trading of perps and other things that you can do in there. So all in all, we'll go for probably 3/4 of an hour. As I mentioned, we're a not-for-profit association based out of Brisbane, Australia, bringing the good word of blockchain to people everywhere. We've been going for about 5 years, and we have, as I mentioned, 12 in-person events and around about 10 or more of these AMAs per year as well, depending on what we're working on and who we're working with. About 3,500 members now. We have a small team working behind us in the not-for-profit, of whom you see a few on the screen there. We have recently launched an education hub, which you can sign up to. We're going to give you lots of QR codes tonight, so maybe you'll have lots of browser tabs opening on your phones. But if you do want to take advantage of signing up to some of the community and education aspects we've got going on, the education hub is a good place to start. We have an 8-week boot camp going on over there at the moment, that you can find out about if you click through on that QR code. Quick thanks to all our sponsors. Wallet V/Virgo is one of our sponsors, been with us for 2 years now. And we're thankful for all of our sponsors. We always give out a thanks to them at every event that we have. Big thank you to all our sponsors. We've recently onboarded Nexa and Earnscape. These sponsors have come on for a major side event that All Things Blockchain is running, and Evolve Her, a couple of side events in Singapore on Tuesday, 30 September this year. So we're thrilled to be working with Nexa and Earnscape on those, and we're about to sign up some others. Quickly, we also collaborate with Evolve Her, which is a social impact program for women. Stand with Crypto is a movement led by Coinbase coming out of the US, but also with a big presence in Australia, UK, and elsewhere. I think Australia-wide, they've now signed up, I think it's over 12,000 people have actually signed up to their campaign, and you can find out more about that on the Stand with Crypto website. And we're also good friends with the team at Australian Crypto Convention. We run a community newsletter as well, which comes out on the first day of each month. You can find that at that QR code there. That's on paragraph.com. We highlight events in Australia and also around the world that we think are useful. It's really basically an events newsletter. Speaking of events, very quickly, we've got so many, I won't go through them all, but you can find out more if you subscribe to the All Things Blockchain Luma calendar with that QR code there. We do have an interesting one coming up in about a month from today. The new general manager of Binance ANZ, Matt Pawlowski, will be coming on with me on a call just like this, and also Liam O'Doherty from Binance to have a bit of a chat about how Matt views the world. And he's got a very skilled and varied past. He's actually a trained lawyer and has done had a very excellent career in payments as well along the way. I will quickly highlight this one also, an exchange, OKX, with which many of you will be familiar. We're running an event with them. This is in person, this one. That last one was online. This is in person and streamed on Zoom. We've got Amy Rose Goody from Deca joining us, and some traders, Craig and Greeny, who run a daily live stream where they backtrack on a bunch of trades. That is going to be in person on the first Tuesday of next month, so you can find out more about that. We're on Luma and meetup.com. More events, get more events. The Luma calendar is the key. We've got plenty more things coming up. I'll just skim quickly through these. We do have some women's focused events coming up as well. That's a different calendar on that page. You'll find out all about what Evolve is doing on that page. There's the next one of those is a Zoom call on the Tuesday the 26th. That's what's that? A week today? What are we? Yeah, a week today. Very quickly, if you use the ATB10 code, you can sign up for a slight discount, a 10% discount on tickets to Oz CryptoCon, which is creeping up now. That's in November. And also the Blockies is the week after. That's the Digital Economy Council of Australia's awards night, their gala awards night, which this year is in Melbourne on Friday, 28 November. And I think that's about me. I think I will hand over the share to Viola firstly. And yeah, take it away, Viola.
Thanks, Matt. So many things happening. You have so many upcoming
We
events.
really do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's always so good to work with the team at ATV.
Oh,
You guys are very consistent and bringing in like great information.
yeah, I
Hopefully,
think that's the word, consistent. Yeah, I think that's how
yeah,
people get to know us. Yeah.
absolutely. Are you guys seeing my screen? Because I can't
Yes.
see the Zoom anymore. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna.
I found Viola, it's in a different tab. If you've got the latest Zoom client, it's actually in a different tab across the top. Can you see? If you
Um,
do need to see it anyway. I found in mine, Zoom's now giving me a couple of different tabs.
right. Okay. But you're seeing the whole screen. That is the slide now.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm not gonna waste too much of your time. I will do like the salesy bit, and then I'll hand over to the expert to talk
All good.
about actual trading and live demo. So Wallet V. I'm from Virgo. So Virgo is Australia local registered exchange, regulated by Austrac, and fully licensed. You can do your AUD on-ramp and off-ramp safely through there. So we've recently partnered up with Wallet V to bring even more DeFi offerings to our users, especially in Australia. There are a lot of users that are utilizing the Hyperliquid feature, trading higher volume, using the leverage feature in the bull market and making much better gain than on the spot exchange. So we want to come on here to give you guys a bit more information and details on like how do you actually leverage that. So without further ado, agenda today. So first up, I'll talk a little bit about Wallet V, what's the differences between it, what are the key functions, and then hand over to Karan to talk a little bit more about the trading parts. Why trading perpetual would be a good opportunity, especially in the timing right now. We've recently just hit another Bitcoin all-time high, so yay
Mhm.
to us. So also, we'll do a quick demo of like what it actually looks like. So if you're curious about it, because we can't actually show our mobile screen, the best way would be to scan the QR code right now and download it on your app, so you can follow along when Karan is actually going through some of the feature as well. Okay, so about Wallet V, pretty much all the standard wallet features are there. So you can send, receive, swap, and cross-chain swap. So for cross-chain, we have over 13 chain that is currently now available. So all the EVM chains that is on Ethereum's and also Solana and all the top ones are also there. So if you have any needs to store your asset from one chain to another, you can freely use it. The interface is pretty intuitive. It's really easy to move things around.
There's a bunch
Uh,
of smarts, isn't there? Sorry, Viola, to interrupt your throat. There must be a bunch of smarts behind the scene that are doing that. And I think that's something that I noticed with the Wallet V team is that it's a very excellent, technically minded product team, with Peter Ip and others behind the scenes there. But sorry, I've interrupted your flow.
oh no, all good. Yeah, with that as well, as compared to say local exchange that you have to do your whole KYC process. Once you download the app, remember to back up your wallets. So save your private key somewhere, store it, because if your wallet is lost, you have lost access to your phone. If you have those key, you can get your crypto back. Your key, your coins, always keep that safe. It's all what we always talk about. The good thing about it is when you log in, the biometric is really easy. So on the phone, once you scan your face, it knows that it's you and you get back and start moving along and do things. So no longer you have to like type in all your email addresses and like all of those things to get access to it. So it's much easier in a
Yeah.
way.
So obviously people will have picked up. That's a decentralized wallet. And Viola, not that I'm an absolute expert, but in my brief use of the app, the Virgo, the centralized app is in a tab that's right next door to the Wallet V. So you can actually kind of alternate between the two in the one app. Is that correct?
You can jump from one another,
Yes.
but the relationship is basically once you on ramp and off ramp, say if you have some crypto,
Yeah.
because Virgo Exchange is no longer custodial, we no longer
Right.
keep the assets for the user.
That's
So
very key.
because with the partnership with Wallet V now, is a much easier experience. Once you've purchased the crypto on the exchange, centralized exchange, you can then auto send it. So once your addresses are whitelisted on your Virgo account, it will automatically send it to your wallet V. So you just open another
Right.
wallet, keep your own private key safe, then your fund is always yours, always safe.
And
Mm.
sorry, Viola, I'll stop interrupting, but
Yep.
if I should have said to those who have joined us, if you do have any questions, either
Mm.
jump in, open your voice
Yeah,
if you're
type it in the
comfortable,
chat.
or put them in the chat, or even
Yes.
jump on video if you feel really
Mhm.
comfortable. But yeah, we are here to answer your questions. So yeah, please feel free to jump in at any time tonight. So back to you, Viola.
Yes. So second key feature I briefly touched on is cross-chain swap. One thing to note here is to make sure that you have enough gas fee because we keep coming having new users come to us be like, oh, I couldn't do a certain swap. It's most likely if you're on Ethereum EVM network, make sure that you have some ETH so then the transaction can go through. If it's Solana, have some Sol in your wallet to make sure that the swap will go through. Um, Other key feature that we have integrated is one of them is Pump Fund. So meme coin was a really, really hot topic not just too long ago. Recently it's died down a little bit, but there is still a lot of new coins coming up, especially through Pump Fund, which is all launched on Solana. So some of them are new or completing, meaning that they are fresh and new projects. There are a lot more risk associated to them, so definitely do your own research before jumping into it. But yeah, an easy and safe way to go into new coins through Pump Fund directly through the app as well. Another key feature is called smart money. So this one is more like an indicator to see like where are people, whether people are buying or selling, especially the top investor and well. So it kind of gives you an indicator of like where to look at if there's too many things to look at to see whether there's good market trends or promising project that has pop up to the list. Then you can do your own research from there. So it's kind of like a information collation place that is also directly on the app as well. So things that we will focus on today is Hyperliquid. So perpetual trading, we're bringing on the mobile first experience, meaning that with your mobile, we have actually redesigned the UI UX. So Hyperliquid is a desktop version where you go onto the platform to trade with leverage. But we have actually token that and redesign it to fit nicely on your app. So you can trade on the go. You can check out the leaderboard some of the open position by some of the top leaders that are trading higher volume, making great gain, and see what they're up to as well. So for example, for Bitcoin, you can use up to 40% leverage to trade those assets. But the leverage limit for each coin vary as well. Say, for example, for ETH, I think is 25x that you can use on that particular function. Last but not least, we have X stocks. This is the most recent addition to our app. So X stock is a tokenized version of US stocks. So it's fully backed one by one. So it's essentially like you're buying the stock, but on chain. So it's 24/7. You can buy into these stocks, but using crypto. So you can do it anytime, anywhere. Um, Very compatible. You can see it directly, move fast. Some of the major brands, major US stocks are listed there right now. That's not a huge option. I think it's an up and coming trend, but it's definitely an interesting one to look at if you want to look for more conservative investment options. Lastly, is invite codes. So today, if you use the code and start trading, you will get potentially enter our lucky draw. But if you also download the app and you have a bunch of friends that are looking for good wallets, you can also share your own code. And if they started trading on Hyperliquid, for example, through your promo code in particular, you also earn a 20% referral commissions through your invite codes directly back to your wallets. So there's nothing that you need to do furthermore if they have entered the code while creating their wallets.
And that's just on them signing up. That's not trading. That's not volume based.
Volume based. So
It is. Okay.
20%,
Yep.
yes, 20% on whatever trading activities that your friends are doing. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much the boring bit, the salesy boring bits about Wallet V. If you have any further question about the product, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. But I'll probably hand over to Karan now so we can get into the actual beef of learning how to trade. I'm really
Yeah, that's great.
excited personally.
Viola, I'll get you to keep sharing your screen for
Oh,
2 more
sure.
slides to the
Yeah,
video,
sure.
and then I'll take over after when I actually have to share
Yeah.
my screen. Um, so just a little bit about me. I've been in crypto since 2020, early 2020, and I've literally, as soon as I got into it, I never really stopped following it. I've been in the markets literally every day. I have not taken a single day off because I just love the field. So the what Viola brought up about perpetual with Vola V, I just want to point out like some reasons and some points on why you should use perpetuals if you are not using. Just like for me as a trader, like I can borrow more money from less capital and risk a specific amount rather than being in a spot trade where there is no real stop loss that you can put if you're in a spot trade. So I just wanted to go over a few points why perpetuals are useful in this scenario here. Like, as you know, we're in a bull market, but we're going towards the end, or we're probably in the end of the bull market stage where prices and volume goes out of hand. So it's perfect time to use perpetuals where you can set your specific orders and entries. Then l- leverage also amplifies your results, but it can be your best friend or it can be your greatest enemy. So you want to be careful with how much and when you use leverage. If you know your specific strategy requires a certain leverage amount, you can kind of set your parameters around that. So you're risking a specific amount and not losing your whole capital as you would if you were in a spot trade. Now, Viola, I'll get you to go to the next slide and play the video. We've just got like a 4.5 minute video where I've gone through and shown you guys how to actually place a trade in Vola V. Now, given this is prior to you actually doing your analysis on a separate platform, but I'll go ahead and play the video first, then we'll come back to it. After I've done my prep and after I've done everything that I need to do in terms of preparing for the trade. When I want to actually execute the trade, you want to make sure that you have Ethereum on Arbitrum and USDC on Arbitrum on your wallet. You can send it from receive here and copy your wallet address like so. Then you can come down to perpetuals, and you can see our main menu here. If you don't have USDC added, you can just press here and you can transfer it from your main wallet to the perpetual wallet here. You'll just simply have to press add how much ever you want and just press confirm here, and it should show up here as available balance. Once you are down here, you can see all the options you can see on your screen. There's isolated, there's cross margin, whichever one you want to use, it's up to you. I like to use isolated. Generally with me, I will use around 10 to 5x. For this example, I use 10x leverage. You can change it within the trade after, but for now we will stick to 10x. Let's say you want to take a market order. It's right there. You can buy it on the spot on whatever is available on the order books here. And if you want a specific entry, you can go limit order, set your price. Hey, I want you to buy 0.01 Bitcoin or 0.05 Bitcoin. With 10x leverage, we can do that. You can see at the bottom,
cost basis, it's taking up $59 for us, and we are buying 0.005 BTC at the price that's listed here, 119413. If you want a different order, you can just change it from here. And you can set your stop loss and take profit. Let's say you want to, generally you will have a number in your mind or a level that you are looking at on the chart. But for this example, let's do expected 10% and a stop loss of 2%. So we'll be making $6 and losing 1.1 for this example. That's it. Once you're ready, you can just press buy long. It should open a trade at the bottom here for you once the price hits. But because the price is not there, we'll have to wait. You can do the same thing for market 0.005. You can set the same parameters for market 10%, 2%. Buy long, that should open immediately for you. Now, since we've already put another limit order before, you can come down here if you want to cancel any of the orders. So you can see which one is what. You can see the history of it. We can cancel all for now. We don't really need them. It will close out our take profit stop loss that we put just then for this market trade as well, but that's okay. We can add it from here if you want to again. If you want to change the leverage, like I was saying before, you can come down here, increase the leverage. In the trade, it's going to change your margin amounts for you, and you will have more funds available at the top if you need it for some of the trade. If you want to trade something else, you simply press at the top left. You can see all the options that you have using Wallet V and Hyperliquid. You can trade on any of them, same concept. You can select how much you want to buy, your leverage, market, limit orders, and put your stop loss, take profits, and you can just press buy. Once you want to close the trade, it's very straightforward. You just press close. If you want to close market or you want to close a specific level, you can press it on limit and you can set a level there. Since we want to close market for now, I'll just close like so. Once I press it, order went through. That's it. We're back to $210 in our available balance. Thank you.
Now I'll take over the screen sharing because I'll be sharing a lot of slides.
I was going to
Actually,
say, sorry, Karan, before you go on, we
ahead.
do have a question, but also, you guys is there a demo account on Wallet V? Like, to me, I'd almost want to try that out in a demo mode, first, because I'm a bit of a noob.
There is no demo mode currently.
So
But
straight into it.
as Karan mentioned, like if you are like setting it with the stop loss and take profits, the example that he used, he's actually only like setting it up so the max loss is like $2.
Yes.
So, yeah, so if you have to look carefully, like with the leverage that you're setting, like how much exactly you are going to lose, like understanding risk part
What's
before.
that risk?
Yeah.
And that's a good point too. Aryan has typed, sorry, Karan, into the chat
Yes.
that it's a good idea in any form of trading to set your own personal limits in terms of what you're prepared to risk per bet, per trade. And Aryan's suggesting there, worth mentioning, to only risk 0.5% to 1% max of your total account when trading leverage. And we're going to talk a bit more about margin and leverage later on when we have a Q&A at the end of the session. But also, just to address Martin's question, is it USDC focused, or can we choose Tether if we want?
USDC focus.
Okay.
It's a Hyperliquid native thing. So they don't have USDT. We just took the product over. So yes, we were considering adding Solana. So it's easier to onboard, but it's still being worked on right now. So the current deposit option is USDC on Arbitrum.
Over to you, Karan.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention with the risking as well, it just comes down to like your trading strategy where I know if I'm risking a certain amount, like Aryan said, 0.5 to 1%, it's generally where you should be. But sometimes some people with with perpetuals, me and some of my other mates that I trade with, they like to use lower amounts. Like they'll use $300 as their own margin, and they'll do like a 10 to 15x. So losing 10% in there might actually only be that account size worth of the amount. Like if you have a $3,000 account, but you're using $300 as margin, you can still risk more percentage terms, but amount is the same either way. I'll share my screen for the next bit. Just give me 1 second.
Go for it.
Yep. Can you guys see it?
Yep. We
Yep.
are seeing your screen now. Yeah.
No worries. I just wanted to note down some crypto trends. Like now I'm going to go into more of like specific crypto things and like how I use it for trading and just a general overview of the trends as well that I have noticed in the last couple years that have formed like into major trends now. Like I've written down 5 here, but there's a lot more that's always coming and going. Like with artificial intelligence, everybody knows the world's on the AI trend. So we're seeing AI coins doing really, really well. Like virtuals was one of the most recent ones that I remember that went re-nuclear. With real world assets as well, real RWAs are just a concept that's always been around, but it never really got any energy before this because TradFi was not actually into crypto at that time, right? So now TradFi is coming in, so people are looking at RWA as a proper thing where it's more established and it can actually have more base to it and it can flow. DeFi gaming, I've merged them together. It can be DeFi separately, and DeFi in itself has so many different sections that if we were to cover it, we'd be here for hours. So I've just mixed it all together in DeFi and gaming together. With with DeFi, you can see like subsections of it as well. One of them is actually below. I'll go through it after. But DeFi gaming for me, I still think it's got a space in this world because most crypto people that I have come across, or a lot of crypto people that I meet online or if I talk to, they have some sort of a gaming connection. And by gaming, I mean video game connections, right? Like me personally, me as well. I came from a gaming background. I used to love playing video games, right? So that part of our crypto people that are younger generation, they like that sort of thing. So I think gaming still has a place in crypto in terms of as far as narratives go. Then memes, everybody knows I am, to be honest, my personal honest thoughts, I am so sick of memes. I need the meme train to slow down. There's too many memes for my liking at this point. But there's nothing I can do about it. They're just gonna keep going and keep growing. Like memes have made this like separate section, separate culture of their own where they just don't want to stop. So I guess who am I to stop it, right? And then there's this newest one that I've started to pay attention to is DeSci, decentralized science. I've really started to like this just because I always thought that we can use crypto for more than just degenerate stuff. And like RWA was step one, and I feel like DeSci would be the ideal next step to help crypto merge into the real world where people are actually using it on a day to day. Like just a couple days ago, me and Viola were talking on a call, and I showed her a project called Bio, where they're using crypto funding to fund people that have the skills and the knowledge to develop things in the medical field, which I think is super cool when you think about crypto evolving into like a separate section. Now I'll go through I've written down we've just noted down some technical analysis factors other than actually the charting part, like that affects when you're actually going to take a trade. With TA, there's so many things that you have to keep in mind. Initially, when you see it as a beginner, like you think, oh, it's just you just like drawing these lines and you can take the trade. But once you actually get into it, you realize you're not as smart as you thought and you might have to put in more work. So then I wrote down some key factors that actually you need to keep in mind when you're trading in crypto, especially because these things affect a lot in terms of the macro trends. So the first one I've got up at the top would be the macro, like global economic factors like interest rate, inflation, USDT, the DXY, how it's doing, and etc. Then another thing that affects, which this cycle we've seen a lot of it, geopolitical stuff, wars. Trump just slipped and he hurt his back and he's just not happy about crypto. Just stuff like this, it just always affecting crypto news. And lastly is liquidity cycles. Now liquidity cycles, people always misread them. Like I always see people say like, oh, liquidity is increasing, that means crypto needs to go up. But a lot of the times people forget things about liquidities, like yes, it's growing, but doesn't mean it's flowing inside of crypto. So crypto doesn't actually need to go up if liquidity actually goes up. Now, a lot of people online will show you like charts of like, oh, liquidity went up, crypto is going to go up soon. But it actually needs to flow in. So that's why I like to use exchange volume charts as an indicator, oh, prices can go up now. I'll go through that in a bit. We'll come back to this. Now I'll start sharing my screen in terms of what I've got for what I was talking about with liquidity here. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
No worries. So I use this website quite often. I come and check it almost regularly at this point now. Is the liquidity part tying in here? This is the daily exchange volume. This tells me if the exchange volume, and this is spot specific, not perpetuals. So if spot money is increasing, of course, perpetuals will increase it together. If spot is decreasing, it's very unlikely that you'll see perpetuals taking over it, even though perpetuals are always more volume, but you need the base of spot to go up as well for actually sustained up movement. Now we could see like since 2024, we were just in a big downtrend for liquidity. Even though Bitcoin might have been increasing, it was not super, super strong or sustainable. Now, right now, we have just formed the base, broken out of the downtrend, and made a higher low. Now, I think it's still unconfirmed if we're gonna get this big move, and you can see if I go all time, we still haven't crossed volume for exchanges like we did in 2021 top. Now that gives me confidence that we're not at the actual top of the cycle just yet, but we're not far, and it doesn't take long for this volume to really start spiking up.
And just on that,
But
Karan, anecdotally, feels like we've been waiting for this bull run for, I don't know, about a year or more. Like, is this the bull? Like, I know tonight's titled the bull run of 2025. What are your thoughts on where we're at?
I think we have been in a bull market for a long time, but it's just that because like most people really classify bull markets as just give me 1 second. Most people classify bull market as like when your altcoins are going up, but bull market has always been referred to as when Bitcoin's starting to go up. Like if you look at Bitcoin chart, it's vertical, right? But it's just this time we have been feeling like the bull market is not yet arrived. It's because the coins that are with Bitcoin have not really performed
Gonna be
to
dragged
our.
higher.
So now that usually, so it's always a different reason. People like to say like, oh, if this happens, coins will start to explode. It's always a different narrative, different reason. But usually the layout remains the same. Like last time we saw this big move up after Bitcoin crossed all-time high, and Bitcoin went for like at least 4 months here.
This
Four
is on the
months of
monthly,
straight
right?
up.
This is the
Yeah, this
monthly.
is the monthly. So this is a macro view where on the 4 month, it just constantly went up for 4 months. Now this gives time for these little altcoins around it, time to find a base. Because when Bitcoin goes up first month, they don't actually follow first month. Maybe Ethereum will follow, maybe the top 5 or 10 will follow. But most the little ones that we are invested into, or most people that want like that significant gain are invested into, they don't really follow for the first month. They really start going after Bitcoin shows that it's continuously wanting to go up and does not show weakness. Usually this time what we've got that here, which we saw the if you remember the November peak. November altcoins were going up. But this time there's another big difference that I've noticed is like liquidity is getting drained out a lot more than it did before. Like a coin would go up from $1 to $10 and in the previous cycle, and it would come back down to maybe $2 or $3. And it will find a base in that zone. But this time I've noticed the coin goes from $1 to $5 and it comes back to $1, which most people don't sell. So they, of course, feel like we haven't been in a bull market.
Anyway,
I
I've
have
interrupted
been,
your flow, but they're great points here.
um, so with the volume, I like to just come back and look at it even if I don't look at it every day, I'll look at it every once in a while. Like it is going up. So if the trend is up and the volume is going up, it gives me confidence that we're on our way with higher prices. Now, coming to the actual narratives itself with altcoins specifically, if you're going to trade altcoins, if you're just trading Bitcoin, it's pretty straightforward. Just look at the volume and look at Bitcoin chart. But if you wanted to trade altcoins, applies for spot and perpetual, but this is more for if you wanted to buy. Like I use this website called Dexu. It gives me like a simple indicator or a simple view of what narratives have been performing. One of the ones that I just mentioned, DeSci, the new one, in the last 90 days, it's down 3.8%. But if I go to 30 days, it's not doing half bad. It's up 28% in terms of the whole field. You can see here like it writes off the top narrative performance wise in the last 30 days, and you can see the stuff that's been underperforming too, like AI agents. In November it was the hottest thing, but right now it has not moved. So if I was to go and buy a spot position in something, I would probably try to stay away from here. Anything in this area, it's not very specific to, oh, I only need to buy SocialFi because it's going up. It can be somewhere here. It's just you don't want to be in something when Bitcoin's going up and prices are rising for some more than some altcoins. You don't want to be in coins like this where they are actually still negative and they haven't moved. Because this most likely will be towards the very end that they catch liquidity. And by that point, it could be too late where you might see a 2 3 day pump and then you might start rollover and you might lose more than you actually gain. So you want to be in something that's moving along with Bitcoin. So first I'll look at stuff that's actually moving with Bitcoin in this section here. Then another macro factor that I mentioned before was geopolitical and news wise. So this stuff comes in handy. This is Forex Factory. This is literally just for Fed news, CPI data. We can see here CPI came positive. This is what we wanted. So the prices have reflected that. But usually this is always front run. You don't want to take trades on, generally me, I don't take trades on these big major announcements just because the trend might be flowing down and an announcement that's positive comes up and it just flips it totally on you. So you want to stay away from stuff like this because I know I have done that in the past and it has not worked out for me. So that's mainly those three. I'll get rid of that. My computer's gonna be happy about that. Um, another thing, this is not as important for me, like in terms of trading specifically, but this is just still good to keep an eye on what's running hot. But I feel like nowadays coin market cap just keeps the top narratives at the top. What people want to know about. Before it used to do like the money that's flowing into it, but right now it's just the top narrative. I always see these things even if they're not going up. So and I actually do like the fear and greed for coin market cap, even though some people like to stick to the old tried and true this one. Now this one I've noticed with this guy, it's only Bitcoin that it likes to follow. So this has been agreed for the last 2 3 months, but it's only for Bitcoin. It doesn't really look at altcoins. Now I want something that looks at altcoins, so I found two different websites that help me do that. Now, one is I use CoinMarketCap. It's pretty easy. It tells you right away. and alt season index as well, then I like to use this website called Alpha Analysis. Now, Alpha Analysis is also looking at Bitcoin, but I feel like it's more accurate. And now I like to combine our traditional one, the old one, which is this guy, and I'll use the Alpha Analysis here to merge it together. Where Alpha Analysis, you see these purple bits. Purple color means fear. There's panic, capitulations, uncertainty, balance, greed, and FOMO. Usually you want to line them up together. If I'm seeing greed on CoinMarketCap, extreme greed on CoinMarketCap, extreme greed on fear and greed index here, and greed and FOMO, then it's a good indication for me that we might be towards a local top or the very top. Generally, but these are all macro things that I keep in mind before taking my trades. This, I don't need to check it every day. This is more of a comeback every weekly or so. Just keep an eye on what it's doing. Now you can see here it marked a low pretty accurately for the most recent pullback that we had around here. It went to panic for just a couple days, which also marked the low. And you can see here it went to orange, which is greed the last couple days. The previous top we had before breaking to the new high, it went to orange, which also made it a good top signal. Now you need to line it up for a macro signal, but for intermediate signals, these are very good things that you can use. Another thing that I think it's become super popular now, but it wasn't back when I started using it. Coin Glass is one of the ones as well. Main thing if you're going to trade with it, now this is coming to when you're actually going to place a trade. A long and short ratio, I like to look at this one, which is very important. The long and short ratio just tells me how many people are long, how many people are short. It's not a foolproof thing, but it just gives you a general idea of what exchange, mostly people on exchanges that are trading, they're using, what direction they're thinking. And then the final thing here would be actually the liquidation map. The yellow parts are where large orders are sitting. Usually the market makers like to come down to those areas to grab the liquidity, either whether it's up or down. Sometimes they'll like to do both sides, so they'll bring it back down and then push it really high. I would say like this one that we're seeing here is somewhat similar to that. Was it on here? Yeah, like this you could classify as grabbing liquidity because as soon as it broke the top, it didn't do a clean move that we usually see when an all-time high is broken. Right now, it was more of a break the top and then come back down immediately. Doesn't mean that it's not going to do a follow through. It just means that there was liquidity that they wanted to grab just above this level here, which they have got now. Now, whether they come back down, consolidate, and bring it back up, or they want more orders that are sitting at the top. I know there are more orders sitting in the 127 to 130 ranges, which they could eventually grab, bringing more people actually to FOMO in. Then this is again a macro thing. Google's Trends, anybody can do this from anywhere. You can just come to Google Trends, type Bitcoin, crypto, and Ethereum, and it's going to show you a map of what search volume is doing on Google. And you can see right now, this is a good indication that we're probably going to see more follow through in prices on the long term. This would be the search volume peaked at 32 for Bitcoin, 16 and 14 for Ethereum and crypto. And right now we're sitting at 40, 28, and 37, which just means that people are now interested in crypto. Retail is what we like to say. Well, everybody's been saying, hey, retail is going to come back, retail is going to come back. That's the type of signals that tell us that retail is actually coming back. Now, how I'll actually use this for trading is first I'll get all my macro info in. I don't check every single website every single day, but I'll make sure that I come back to them weekly or fortnightly just so I know what's going on generally overall. Then when it comes to actually placing the trade, I use Wallet V to place my trade from the Hyperliquid model, but then I want my charting to be done on TradingView. It's the go-to place for everybody. What the system I like to use is a simple fib method and understanding market structure and price analysis. Then I'll make sure that I go with the trend. That's why I have this indicator at the top. When it's green, it just means that the price is in an uptrend. When it's black, let's see. If it loads? Yeah, there you go. When it's black like this, or any of them, that just means it's indecision. It just signifies that the price was up, it broke the low, and then it went high. So there's a lower low and a higher high, which just means it's not sure where the trend is. And when it's red, it's pretty simple, it's down. Now, what I'll do when I'm actually taking a trade, you first identify the market structure, which should be, in this case, if you're looking at the daily time frame for Solana, you'll see here it made the low when it was in a downtrend. It broke out to the top where the previous significant tops, I would just say these two, because there was strong reaction off of these two tops. So you could see the trend was down. Once it broke out, consolidated a little bit, broke out again, and took out both of these tops, which gave me the confidence that the trend is shifting. What I can then do with my trading system is just draw a simple fib. And I like to enter my trades at the 61.8. 61.8 is, people call this the golden pocket, keeping it very simple. I'll use this fib tool to enter position here. I'll set my stop loss just below the 78.6. Now, you want to make sure that you're using the risk, like you're risking just the amount that you want to, because you can go overboard and you can liquidate your account. Trust me, I have done that. It's not fun. So you want to make sure that you're using the appropriate amount of leverage. Like I said in the video for Wallet V, is I'll use 5 to 10x, and you could just enter the trade at 61.8. Do you have a question, Sophie? Go ahead.
No, sorry, that's my takes. I'm sorry.
No worries. We'll take the trade at 61.8, and we'll put the stop loss at 78.6, and I'd like to target TP1 at 0 level, which is the previous top of the move, and we'll take the TP2 at -27. I don't know why -27, because I've tested many numbers. -27 is just the one that flows the best. If you were to take this trade, you would have still been in it, and it would have been a 3-to-1 risk to reward. So you're risking $1 to make $3. That's pretty much the way I like to do it. But now, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them.
There's two quick questions in the chat. One of them is, do you buy golden fib level like 0.618 to 0.786? Second,
Now, do you buy in terms of the indicator, Aryan?
buy in. Is that
sorry, are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, yes. No, actually, I mean the levels themselves, like the 0.618 to 7.7. Sorry, what was the
78.6 and 50%.
Yeah. I find that those work really well. For some reason, the last couple of tries that I've done in the larger caps for swing trades. So what are your thoughts on that?
Can you ask me the question again?
Yeah, so like on the retracement level for the Fibonacci 0.68 and the 0.786, I find those retracements on the major mid caps really good. when it comes to swing trades, I buy those and then they go up pretty nicely. So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Usually, so yeah, it depends on the coin. Like you have to study the actual coin itself. Because if I was to use the same method on a smaller cap, it's probably not going to respect these levels, and it's probably
Yeah,
going to
no,
respect
definitely
that
not.
level, right? So you have to kind of like do a little bit of back testing on a specific coin. Like, hey, is this coin reacting to the golden pocket? If it is, then you should take the trade on there. But if it's not, and it's just not reacting the way you want it to, you either find a different strategy that works on that coin, or you can find a different coin itself. Generally, I like to stick to certain coins. Like for me, Sui is like my go-to. Sui always works for me, and Solana as well. So I like to stick to some coins that are just mainly specific to my style.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. I was using that for AVAX specifically, and it was
Yeah,
working great.
yeah. So you'll find like there are some levels that it will respect a lot more than others. Um, there's other ways that you can do it too, but I think finding a specific level for your style is better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Karan, I'm conscious of time. I have got some more questions. Jack also asked in the chat whether you can show some of the indicator names that you've got turned on. You've got some really nice things going on in TradingView there, but is there a couple that we can quickly show? I mean, this recording, the value of this, looking back, will be very useful, to hit pause and have a look at this. But is there a couple you can call out for us now?
Um, so the trading view indicators that I like to use, I've just simply, this one is a free indicator that you can use here, SMI. This is a TI again swing indicator. This I got from a crypto YouTuber called Jason Pizzino. He's very good. He's very good at macro analysis. That's initially where I actually learned my macro analysis from. So I got that indicator off of him. And then when I'm trading the small time frames, one of my friends, she's actually in the call here, Nami, she told me about the time sessions indicator that I use. But I don't really use it all the time. That's only for smaller time frame. But I like to keep it very simple. You'll see some people use like too many indicators. I find it very easy for me to use just simple um, support resistance and trend lines to mark out my levels. And then the SMI is the indicator that I'm using at the bottom. It's just a smooth stochastic moving average. Just makes it easy for you to know if the price is overbought or oversold.
These things do come down to personal preference over time, don't they? And what tends to feel right for you. I know some people swear by RSI, other people will say turn it off. There are a number of different things, but I think over your 5 years, Karan, you've developed some techniques and some use of indicators there that are obviously working for you.
Yeah, there's trust me, I was one of them who used to use like MACDs, and then
Mm.
I switched a little bit of my style, and then the MACD was just became useless for me. So
Yep.
then I was like, it's way too slow for me, and it's just not telling me when to buy, when
Depends
to
on the
sell.
time frames as well, of course. But yeah. Hey,
Correct.
do we want to jump back? Have you finished your part? Do we want to jump back to have a quick talk a bit more about perps just and bring it back into the Wallet V fold? Or have you got more you want to show us?
No, yeah, we can come back to perpetuals and Wallaby.
Yeah, cool. So I was just going to dive in. We touched on leverage earlier. Obviously, we've made the point fairly clearly. I might just take the share back too, if that's okay, Karan, or are you going to show
Yeah,
some stuff? Oh, actually,
no, that's it.
um, so working with leverage and margin, like you were saying here, certainly for beginners or people that are just dabbling in their way into perpetuals, to keep it low, right, is the key.
Right. I'll just give me a second. I'll just stop my share. Yeah, it's just so with my style, I'll use 5 to 10. Some people will use 20, but they'll use less initial margin of their own money. So it really comes down to like what strategy you want to use and what time frame. Like a person who's trading like 15 minutes or 30-minute chart, they can use like a 20x leverage and they'll be fine, or 30x leverage and they'll be fine. Because I'm doing it on 4 hours and daily chart. If I use 20x, there is a high likelihood that I might get spiked out sometimes, or the trade is just not gonna go in the way it would if I was using more leverage or less
Yeah.
leverage.
Yeah. And so, yeah, your risk management compared to spot then, like how does that change your outlook?
So with the perpetuals mm, account, like you'll have a specific amount. Like for example, let's say you're trading with like $1,000, right? And you have a rule of only risking 2% or 3%. But because it's only $1,000, let's say you have a backup of like another 2K that you're not using for perpetuals, you can use 5% of your risk, and then overall your account is still looking at 1 to 2% loss,
Mm.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah, because
it
that gets to
depends.
the question of what's going to cause me to get liquidated. Yeah.
Yeah, with the liquidations, it's pretty straightforward. Like in terms of it directly corresponds to the leverage you're using. Like if somebody is on a large time frame and they don't get the exact perfect entry, and then they use, let's say, 20x leverage, it's more likely that if because their entry is not perfect, even if there was a little spike, which happens a lot in crypto, away from their entry level, it can like spike them out really fast.
I
But
was
if
going
they
to
were
say,
using, yeah,
sorry, go on.
I was just saying if they use a little bit less leverage because they know their entry is not perfect, like I'll do that sometimes. If I know my entry is not exactly perfect, I'll use lower leverage than I normally would have. Yes, that will make my position size smaller, but then I'll also get the benefit of if there was a spike, I'll be protected from it.
And when you mentioned before there, you expect there'd be a number of orders sitting at 127 for Big Daddy Bitcoin, maybe 130. Like, what's you're looking at liquidity in there as well, right? You expect a lot of orders at that level, or are they just purely speculative? Like, how are you feeling about those orders that are at that upper end of where we're at?
So my actual range is actually 135 to 137.
Okay.
I use this tool called a fib extension tool, which and then I'll remove all levels except 0, 0.5, 1, and 1.5. And then if you draw those levels on the chart, I can share my screen
Yeah,
again
if you
for a
want to take it
minute to
back, yeah,
demonstrate it. Yeah,
yeah.
it will
Hold
be
on.
much easier to show. Yeah, I'll there you go.
Yeah.
Um, if I go here and I like to mark off with a macro level, so that's why I'm in the weekly chart. That's the fib extension tool that I use. If you draw out these three major macro points, you'll get a level. Usually, price likes to respect 50% and 50% movement increments. So then if I draw this first level, then we can come down to a little bit more zoomed in perspective. We can draw another level here. And then if you want to get even closer to the market, you can go to this smaller substructure that we just had. You can see like three of my levels are coming in the same range, whether it's the small one that I drew from, whether it's the small one that I drew from this one, or if it's the big guy that I drew from this guy, or the biggest one that I've drawn from the full move here,
Mm.
they're all lining up to the same level of 135 to 136. Usually you'll see price respect those types of levels just
Yeah.
because there's more psychological numbers and stuff like that over there. Um, if I was to get rid of let me just get rid of them. 1 second. You'll see like if I draw the one that's happened in the past, for the one that's the whole move that we saw before, like so, you'll see the last resistance that we got was actually at the one level, and it had a strong reaction to the 50% level. And then once we break through, it's again, even if I draw this one as well, like the one I draw from the extreme low of the cycle to the first big correction that we had, again, it's lining up to the 135 to 136 level. So it can never be a guarantee thing, but it gives me more surety that this is probably the range that we might find the next level of resistance.
That's great. That's great, Karan. All right, I'll just put a call out for any last questions in the chat, but I think we could do a whole hour and a half just on the trading analysis, let alone what Wallet V has got to offer. But I've just got up there the website and the Twitter for Wallet V as well. I know that's a Twitter account that's growing and lots of good announcements. And it is an exciting product set. As I mentioned, there's a smart team working behind this. You've seen tonight some of the cross-chain stuff. You've got what's it called, X stocks. You've got a number of different features coming to this platform. And if you want to take on your own custody, you've certainly got a good partner in Wallet V, I think. Any final words from you, Viola?
I know that this is really short, but we will be hosting even more meetup in the future, just through our own meetup as well. So if you're interested, definitely follow us on our social and keep an updated. But yeah, any question at all, feel free to connect with us as well through our Twitter. We're very active there.
No, that's great. Thank you very much, Viola. And thanks to Karan for tonight. It's been really good. As I say,
No worries at
could have
all.
gone that if you've learned that in 5 years, you're going to be amazing in 10. So I think that's really wonderful. This has been the Wallet V ATB AMA for August 2025. Thank you, everyone, and good night.